Open the grill. Prisoner Tosan is entering the penitentiary.
Where are we? On a mountain?
No. Inside four walls.
More like a womb. With infinity out there waiting for us.
Tosan himself.
Take him into solitary. Tosan. Tosan.
Tosan! Quiet in the cell block! Everyone go to sleep.
Go on. Tell us. Did you find out what's happened? Did you get the full story? What did they say when they got there?
This is Tranquility Base. The Eagle has landed.
And then they got out.
The first one came down. He reached out his foot to touch the moon's surface. He appeared to be trembling. At least that's what I read in the paper. And then, at last, he took the first step.
What have you done with the clippings?
I ate them.
You ate them?
Suppose there was a search and they found them on me. I'd have been a goner.
So what did he say?
When?
When he landed on the moon!
Numbers, I think.
What about the other one?
He came out later. According to the paper, the whole world was watching on television.
Everyone except us.
It wasn't till later that they spoke. One of them said,
I would like to take this opportunity of asking all our listeners, wherever they may be, to pause for a moment, to meditate on the events of these last few hours, and to give thanks, each in his own way.
Look, he's trying to tell us something.
They didn't mention us.
What do you mean, us?
Us here.
Nobody ever mentions us.
Even the first men on the moon have forgotten us.
I've been dreaming.
As usual.
As soon as the lights go out, I dream. Do you know what about?
All I dream about is this fucking jail!
I dream I'm with this girl. A beautiful girl. And I'm drawing circles on her with a compass. I put one end of it on her navel, and with the other, I stroke her breasts and lips and cunt. I dream we kiss and offer each other little electric engines full of dew. We teeter on satisfaction and splash each other in the sea while thousands of salmon swim between our buttocks. And then I come.
Melchizedek wrote, "The penitentiary is a legend. Atrocious crimes have been committed there. You can still see the repairs in the walls of the acacia garden, which they used as targets during mass executions. It has been the mute witness of innumerable beatings and torture sessions."
You remember what happened to Guerrero?
How could I forget? You know, I often think of what happened to him as if it had been me that got out of here.
And maybe a lot of people saw themselves on television, walking on the moon like the first astronauts.
Oh, it's not the same. I feel as if I am Guerrero. I close my eyes and I see myself in the city, running all over the place. The happiest I've been for 20 years. Admiring all those free people. Living my first adventure.
Guerrero! Guerrero!
Yes?
Remember me? It's Aristotomy! So long since we've met.
Aristotomy, I didn't recognize you. I only came out yesterday. yesterday. It's as if I'm a blind man.
Came out. Where from?
The penitentiary.
I didn't realize you had been in prison.
And the press wasn't allowed to print anything.
I've got a terrific idea. I have a girlfriend. A whore, actually. But she's fantastic. I'll tell you what. I'll pay for her, and you'll have a terrific night with her. Let me call her Rupa! Rupa! Let me introduce you to Rupa, the queen of the tango.
You a friend of Aristotle's?
My name is Torero.
Let's go then.
Where to?
To the hotel, where do you think?
Couldn't we wait a minute?
The sooner we finish, the sooner I can start with someone else.
I'd like to look around the town, paddle in the lakes, stare at the moon from high up on a toboggan,
It's no
multiply the stars in the sky.
You can't impress me. I can tell from your accent you come from around here.
Yes, I was born here.
Well then.
I was 17. I was very young when they took me away.
Yes, well, I can't stand around here talking. Make up your mind.
Do you mind if we go for a walk?
Not at all. Then we can look at the moon with its rockets, its lunar module, its astronauts, and its consecrated bread.
From the aqueduct, we can look out over the roofs of the town.
Are you coming to the hotel or not?
You know, I've never been with a woman before.
Impotent, are you? Well, you're in luck. If I can't get it up for you, I'll turn in my union card.
As a matter of fact, it's 23 years since I last saw a woman.
What, are you a monk? One of those Trappists? You're not from a sanatorium, are you? I don't want to catch anything.
I was in the penitentiary.
Oh, you're someone important like they have on television.
Still very young when they arrested me. It was at the end of the war.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
It's all right. Just now, I was thinking about the astronauts going to the moon.
Go on, tell me all about it. Lean against me if you want, and I'll rub your back and bottom. I'm really good. Everybody knows me. I started in a really rough area, but now things are working out for me. I'm able to charge more, and my old friends keep coming back. We'll tell the zookeeper to give us a private show. We'll feed caviar to the giraffe and give the hippopotamus champagne. I've got a sugar pink dress with cleavage down to here, especially for you. I've got one embroidered and with panties with nylon and fuse wire. Oh, I'll take you to nightclubs, and we'll dance the green tango on a porcelain sink covered with mosaics dating from the Peloponnesian War. Oh, we'll have the time of our lives.
Fun! What are we waiting for?
Weren't you saying something about the moon?
I was saying it reminds me of a country wedding. When I was little, the children used to gather around a married couple and throw handfuls of rice over the bride. It was as if they wanted to cover her with their sperm.
What's that got to do with the moon?
Well, the astronauts were getting married on the moon. They were wearing white.
2 men married?
Shape of things to come. In the future, you'll be able to marry several people at a time. A woman, the moon, and 2 men. Or even homosexual marriages.
Homosexuals married?
Those 2 men on the moon are the first. They decided what to expect. That's why those 2 gay forerunners got married in the Sea of Tranquility. Oh, we're leaving the age of Pisces for that of Aquarius.
You do speak well. But what about the rice?
The astronauts took some earth, and one after another they put it in a plastic cup. They then made themselves a vagina and shot their sperm, that is the moon dust, up inside themselves till their prostates quivered.
Poor baby. How you must have suffered to have such weird thoughts.
We're leaving the age of fanaticism, dogma, and the Inquisition, and entering an age of tolerance, a time when penitentiaries and prisons will remain only as outdated relics of the past.
Come here. You remind me of the angel Gabriel. Come on, let me show you the way. I'll be your seeing eye dog. I'll take care of you, and you'll be happy. I'm the woman to pleasure you.
Go dreaming again. Get so worked up, all you get are wet dreams.
Yes, Where was Durrell when he got out?
When Zorero got home, he found a small package in his jacket pocket containing money from his friend and a note from the girl asking him to come back the next day now that she knew he had money.
She wanted him to come back every night, didn't she?
Well, that's what Zorero must have thought. But then he decided she was just another victim of the society that had imprisoned her. So he spent all the money on an enormous bouquet of flowers and left it at the nightclub where she worked, along with an affectionate little note.
How many years did we spend here?
Right from the beginning. Remember those early years?
The penitentiary was built to house 400 prisoners, but as many as 6,000 have been incarcerated here. The prisoners sleep piled on top of each other, with hardly any covering. Everyone is on the lookout for a piece of paper thick enough to offer some protection. In the cells, looking through the Judas was forbidden. A prison guard, nicknamed Coyote, noticed one of the prisoners looking through the spy hole. Sticking close to the wall, he approached the cell door on tiptoe and jabbed the point of his knife into the prisoner's eye.
Do you think that people know that there are men who have been locked away for years and years?
Do people know we have to crap into a common earthenware bowl?
People know that nurses inject turpentine into a vein!
Why does nobody say anything?
I don't know. I suppose they think it doesn't do any good to protest or complain.
Before coming to prison. Just a few days before.
Your sweetheart. Go on. Tell us again.
She was at the window, looking so beautiful. And I told her we're made for each other like fire and water. And we'll love each other always. One day, the war will be over, we'll have peace and freedom, and men will be brothers and all equal. We'll be happy, and we'll go to the moon on a yacht with bicycle wheels.
Oh, but you're not a soldier. Stay here.
I may not be a soldier, but I have to go.
Stay. And we'll play the trumpet together. Look, I've got a live frog in my panties.
Poor thing, it'll suffocate.
No, it won't. Sometimes I piss on it and it jumps for joy. Tree frog, do a somersault and you'll be as big as God.
There is no God anymore. This war's frightened him away for good.
God does too exist. Though I don't imagine he spends much time with those vultures in cassocks, the black sheep of Christ's flock. God is very tender. Sometimes he slips into me and sings to me. Ain't she sweet?
We don't need God anymore. Now, when I dream, all I see is a happy world where we spend years and years walking hand in hand. And you play the harpsichord while doves in corsets flutter round about us. I'll dance for you. Watch.
Hit me.
Hit you?
I'll close my eyes and you punch me in my face, but don't hurt me too much.
I'm going to hit you. I'll go for a ride in a Zeppelin and throw you coils of rainbow milk.
For you, I'm like a little goldfinch you hold in your hand. If you squeeze me, I'll suffocate. But if you stroke me, my breasts will swell up like the sails of a frail boat.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Get thee to a nunnery.
Don't go to the war.
I'll go like a rogue stallion. But I'll be thinking of you all the time.
Yesterday the troops went through on their way to the front. The leader was stirring up the crowd. I felt so happy listening to him. I forgot all about you when I went up and touched his khaki shirt.
Young barbarians of today, we must sweep down and sack the decadent civilization of this miserable country. We must destroy its temples and abolish its gods. We shall strip the veils from the novices and raise them to the dignity of motherhood, begetting on them a sturdy generation of children. We shall tear up deeds of ownership, make bonfires with them, and in those flames purge our ailing state. We must win the humble to our cause, enlist the legions of the proletariat to make the world tremble before its new judges. There is no turning back. Fight to the death. Kill or be killed!
Homer was the herald of your virtues. May I touch your shirt?
Comrade, I am a man like any other.
Oh, wonderful. Everyone who hears him is converted. Do you know the Iliad by heart?
We are not in the least afraid of ruins. We shall inherit the earth. We're carrying a new world here in our hearts. And even as I speak, the world is becoming stronger.
Did you burn down a lot of churches in the
A
capital?
lot, we burned them all.
Look, here comes one of the pickers.
Comrade, you're poor like us. We'll help you win back your dignity.
Thank you, sir.
Comrade.
Sir, what good can we do? Leave us to our trucks and our own ways.
You are going to do something much more uplifting. You are going to arm yourself and leave for the front to fight our oppressors.
Comrade, sir, how could we kill our brothers? Our brothers? Never.
Me too. A lot of time has gone by since then.
You know, before, I used to only think of my girl. Now, I think about God.
Oh yeah? What's he like?
Sometimes, like a little bubble of air. It goes from my brain to my heart, and back to my brain. When I'm sad, the bubble becomes very heavy. And sometimes, when I cry, it feels like quicksilver.
They are always talking about God!
But they speak with whips.
I don't want any complaints. The first one of you to speak, and I'll whip him till his soul melts. Let us pray.
Fuck the priest.
Who was that whispering? The first one of you to speak or make the slightest remark, and I'll split his skull, understand? Twice a day, you must kneel and pray to God. Mass in the morning, and Vespers in the evening. Where is Abramelin? Huh? You, Qatar, answer me.
He's in the hole.
You mean he's in the hole, sir? And why is he in the hole?
Because he refused to kiss the baby Jesus' foot after Mass.
Infidel, how dare you shortchange me? Abramelin committed the worst blasphemy there is. He refused to bow down at our Redeemer's feet. Now you say it.
Abramelin committed the worst blasphemy there is. He refused to bow down at our Redeemer's feet.
And where is he now?
He's in the adjustment center.
You hear that, all of you? How big is the cell?
6 feet by 3.
And how long will he stay locked up there?
6 months.
6 months, that's right. It's better for him to atone for his sins on earth than in hell. And now go on, what are the conditions like?
Abramelin is kept locked up day and night, and has no contact with the outside world, and all he gets is a bowl of water and soup.
You lack conviction, now go on. He is forbidden.
Everything! Reading, writing, sleeping during the day.
And allowed?
To stink like a rat.
You missed the
To
word.
stink like a mangy rat!
You hear that, all of you? Now, let us pray. Let us offer up a prayer. But wait a minute. There's something you ought to hear first. Some time ago, a prisoner thought he could get the better of me. Don't anybody laugh. He came to me as humble and meek as a little lamb, even though he was a great revolutionary before this arrest. I allowed him the signal honor of helping me say Mass. He seemed an altogether different man. One morning, while I was preparing to say Mass, I'd seen what he'd done in the holy chalice. He'd put a slice of sausage in place of the holy wafer and was chewing the sacred host before my very eyes. The most appalling transgression. To eat the flesh of our Lord Jesus Christ. But we threw him in the adjustment center and we forgot all about him. No food, no water, nothing. 4 months later, when we opened the door, we found his body half rotted, half mummified. All the flesh had been stripped from his bones. Locked up in that hole of a cell, he didn't deserve it. Leave him alone. Let him bleed to death. Slowly. Oh, my balls. They do taste good. Oh, Lord. For what we are about to receive. Oh, what a pleasure. What a pleasure to be able to eat my own balls and not be able to see. All the pleasure is concentrated in my tongue, my mouth, the mouth you gave me, Lord. Oh, the Lord giveth balls, and the Lord taketh them away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Let me say from my balls, grant that this pleasure which the body gives itself, this auto-satisfaction afforded me by my tongue, which is so sweet to me, does not kindle in me luxurious appetite.
Listen to him. He's enjoying it too much.
Yes, kill him. He's going mad. His brain is rattling around like an empty bell.
Kill him. He's enjoying it too much.
Oh, Lord, now that I'm blind, I see with eyes of faith and love you madly. Oh, Lord, I hope for a life so long that I die from not dying. The thought of it, Lord, fills me with love for you. Oh, it is not the promise of heaven, nor the fear of hell that keeps me from sinning against you. Look down on me, Lord. My balls are gone. I've been castrated in your service, that no one may distract me from my song of praise. Oh, I've already swallowed them. God grant that you do not grow before my sacrifice is complete. Oh, Lord, forgive me my sins. Forgive the hellish torture I've committed against the prisoners in the years gone by. Oh, Lord, forgive my infinite trespass. Show yourself, Savior!
I have two loves, my daddy and the cross. Two loves have I, God the Father and Judas.
It's you, Master?
I am Christ the Savior.
May I be with you this day in paradise?
No. First I shall do a miracle. Come here, man of little faith. this saliva, I shall restore your sight.
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ, I am not worthy to kiss the soles of your feet.
There's more to come. Feel.
I don't believe it.
Yes, my son, your faith has saved you.
But are such miracles possible?
You mean you didn't think it would work?
Oh, of course I did. How foolish of me to doubt your miraculous gifts.
Yes, well, as soon as Cleopatra's done, she'll get on to you. Then you'll see.
One day, man left his home in paradise for a life of meanness and deceit. Today he leaves the earth and jumps to the moon like a horse's neigh.
We're still in prison, right?
Think of them arriving on the moon. And with their neat little suits and rounded shapes, they must have looked like the three little pigs.
And who's the big bad wolf?
It was the serpent in paradise. But in our brave new world, there'll be no devil.
Still dreaming, I see.
Oh, I dream. And I dream that I'm dreaming. And I think that I'm dreaming. I even dream that I'm thinking. The other day, I dreamt a whole sentence. Moses, you're talking through your hat. I'd never given him a thought.
You know what your problem is? You read the Bible too much.
What?
Yes, and that's the weapon of those that keep us here.
Everything is their weapon. The Bible, love, everything. They shit on it and cover it in their slime.
And that's why the book flew into space the other day.
Don't tease me. I was just playing around with the book. Then all of a sudden I put it on a shelf at chest height. Only there was no shelf. The book was suspended in midair, defying the laws of gravity.
You're imagining things.
Everyone saw it.
How the fuck do you explain that?
Perhaps the prophet Elijah came to the prison to carry the book to heaven in his chariot of fire.
Chariots of fire. You mean the Saturn rocket? Let's take a shit.
You were saying we should set an example to the ordinary prisoner.
I said that! Let's take a shit.
Shall we ask Kronos to join us?
Yes, Tosan too in your eyes.
Four of us together.
Hey, Kronos, come on, join us. But first, tell us the story of how you lost your voice.
Poor man. Leave him alone.
Nobody will ever know. Yours is so soft, isn't it?
I like touching it and eating little bits. And my mouth fills with earth, life, infinity. I can feel myself being born and dying. I'm a golden insect and an angel of mud.
Girls!
What do you want?
Let me introduce you to my friend, the painter Rubens.
Is that right?
You've heard of me.
Of course I have. You're the one who paints all those beautiful, voluptuous women and little cherubs. When I was young, when I had a free moment, I used to look at your paintings and imagine myself surrounded by jasmine and cats while you painted me in the nude, perched on a ladder of navy blue ivory.
Do you like my paintings?
Oh, I love them. Crazy about them.
Just a minute. Let me introduce you to a friend.
Who is it?
The prophet Elijah.
Hallelujah!
The same one that's in the Bible?
That's right.
The one born at Thespy?
You know all about him.
I should say so. I've read everything written on him several times. What adventures?
What's he done with his chariot of fire?
Well, don't be so forward. If he wants to show us his chariot of fire, he will.
No trouble at all. Of course I'll show it to you. And if you'd like, I'll take you up to heaven. Or we could go for a ride down underground passages of hot blood.
He's very accommodating.
Do you know that I'm being fed by angels right now?
Yes, yes, I'm a witness to it. I painted a really toothsome little picture. Every day angels come down and give him chocolate and sardine sandwiches. They come down from heaven with a flotilla of blind doves.
And who are you?
I'm Desdemona.
And we'll get married, all four of us.
Terrific. But first, let Rubens tell Desdemona his life story.
If I must tell the story of my life, I'll speak of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hairbreadth escapes on the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, and portents in my travels' history, wherein of anters vast and deserts idle, rough quarries, rocks and hills whose heads touch heaven. Oh, it is my wont to speak, and of the cannibals each other eat, the anthropophagi, and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders, and of my suffering.
I swear a faith. 'Tis strange. 'Tis passing strange. 'Tis pitiful. 'Tis wondrous pitiful. I wish I had not heard it, yet I wish that heaven had made me such a man. I thank you.
Let's get married, Desdemona.
Yes, my Rubens.
We'll get married with a broom up our ass and go on our honeymoon in a chariot of fire.
Yes, my love.
Wilt thou have this woman to be thy wife? Do you promise to cherish her, to have her, to hold her in the depths of misfortune and in the dizzy of happiness till death do you part?
Desdemona!
What's going on with the black swine? Don't scream out loud.
You're gonna get it.
Won't be in the middle of a marvelous train!
The guard heard you. You were crying and shouting. Stop thrashing around. You're not the crapper over.
There was a clay receptacle shaped like a cocked hat upside down, into which the prisoners relieved themselves at night. There were so many prisoners in the cell that it was only too easy to upset this receptacle if you so much as stretched your legs. And so the prisoners slept in a constant state of watchfulness. If one of them needed to ease his bowels, a likely occurrence, the others had to put up with the stench, since they were shut up from 6 every evening till 7 the next morning. The peasants wasted no time in showing the others how, after easing yourself, you lit a piece of paper and threw it in the bowl to get rid of the stench. And this is what they used to do.
Son.
Tosan, 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 Tosan,
Tosan! 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 What'd you say when they got you?
I told him it's a waste of time torturing me. I won't tell you anything. All I'll tell you is that I'm the head of the movement in this area.
I'll bet they were impressed.
That's all I can say without compromising the others.
And what did they say to that?
Go on, they said. Talk big. Considering the amount of time you have left to live, you can well afford to brag.
I don't believe it. Even under their laws.
That's what I said. 25 years after the war.
Who was in charge?
He was short, fat.
They're all different now.
Tosan is here! Tosan is here! Tosan is with us!
How long have you been there?
23 years. And I just escaped hanging.
been read by our illustrious Army Lieutenant. Defense! More like a prosecution. Scum! Don't you know that it's forbidden for the defendant to speak at a court-martial trial? He may only address the bench through intermediary of his counsel. And since your counsel sent a letter to us today saying he couldn't be here, you better keep your mouth shut. Keep quiet, or I'll blow your brains out with this pistol!
General, may I have a word with you?
Reverend Father, how dare you interrupt the course of justice, despite the profound respect that we in the service have for men of the
But
cloth.
it's something very serious, and you know what an excellent record our clergy has.
Yes, I'm well aware that many of them, the pick of the bunch, in fact, refused communion to the Red Catholics before they were shot, so that when they died, they'd go straight to hell.
It's certainly something to be very proud of. I myself suffered bodily harm at their hands.
Well, now, what warrants your presence at this trial?
I have something very important to say.
It's an open and shut case. There's nothing to say. The defendant stands accused of murdering his village priest. His defense counsel entered a plea of guilty and asked that justice be done, which is precisely what this court is about to do. Now, may I remind you that this trial has already taken 6 minutes. That's longer than any other trial this morning, thanks to your butting in. And may I remind you again that I have already passed sentence of death on 16 offenders.
But he cannot have killed his village priest.
Don't be naive. These people know only too well how to prey on the sympathies of well-meaning people such as yourself, Father.
No, General, I'm nobody's dupe.
What do you mean?
I have irrefutable evidence.
It's no longer a question of evidence. The prosecution put its case. The defense pleaded guilty. All that remains is to pass the sentence of death.
But he cannot have killed his village priest for the simple reason that I am his village priest.
What?
I said that I am his village priest. I would also like to add that he saved my life. A mob of angry peasants was getting ready to lynch me, and he stopped them from laying a finger upon me.
Very well. In the name of prosecution and the defense, I withdraw the murder charge. But, seeing as how the defendant wielded such power in the red zone during the Civil War that he succeeded in saving a priest's life, I sentence him herewith to life imprisonment.
I'm in prison all alone, not a friend in the world.
Quiet! Suffer. You must pay for your sins.
What made you turn me in?
Because you are guilty, and you must pay the penalty. Say thank you to these gentlemen for the interest they're taking in you.
20 years I've been by myself in prison. Bring me a box of crayons. I want to draw some color pictures.
You must pay for your sins.
Shit on him, madam. Shit on him.
Are you shitting on me?
Yes! It'll be balm on your wounds. Gently. Easy does it. It'll do you good.
Prisoner Tosai, a visitor for you.
Lydia,
Tosan, are you hurt?
It's Bug. They're listening to us.
But your head, are you hurt?
They threw me out of a window.
For the first and last time, Prisoner Tosan, you may talk of family matters and nothing else.
Tosan, can I bring you anything? Is there anything you want, anything you need?
Get out.
Oh, Tosan, I miss you so much when you're not with me. Sometimes I just sit and cry.
Take care of the children.
When's the trial?
I don't know.
They've appointed a captain to defend you, but we haven't been able to see him.
I meet him on the day of the trial.
Oh, Tosan, I want to be with you. Have your arms around me, be cradled by your body. I want to feel your heart beating against mine.
Take care of the children.
We'll see you at the trial.
No. It'll be a closed hearing and they set the time and hour beforehand.
I'll be at the Central Court every morning.
They don't know which court will try me. It's no good. They won't let you.
It's so awful. I want to see you every day, and they only let me visit 10 minutes once a week.
Think about you all the time.
Me too. How I want to touch you, kiss you, be touched by you, and bathe you all over in tears of joy.
I want to touch you too.
1 yard apart, and 2 metal screens in the way, but it's still better than those 4 months when I didn't hear from you at all.
Your life is in danger. Go abroad. You'll be more used to me there.
Goodbye, my love. Soon.
The prison was full to bursting. Each prisoner was allowed the space of 2 flagstones to stretch out in, which meant that they all had to sleep, lying on the same side. And when anyone turned over in the night, the whole row had to turn with him, with cries of, if they were turning to the right, and if they were turning to the left.
Where are we? On a mountain?
No. Inside 4 walls.
More like a room. Oh, with infinity out there waiting for us.
What's it like in winter?
Very cold.
Isn't there any heating?
No. There's no heating in prisons in this country. In winter, convicts die like flies.
You'll get used to it. Like everyone else, you'll start dreaming. You'll even have luck dreams.
Kronos here got the worst of it. When he first came in, he could talk all right. Then they put him in the condemned cell, and when they reprieved him, he lost his voice.
You dream too? What sort of dreams? Happy? Fantastic? Sad? Well, don't upset yourself. Those who suffer are the more loved. Our sorrows are the spiritual food of a being from another world whom we carry on our backs. Yours is very heavy. Is that right?
Do you remember me? Oh, that muzzle really suits you. It's marvelous. That way you can't say anything. You used to be so talkative before the war. Shall we live together happily ever after beneath a sky of multicolored airships? Did you know I could understand what people are saying with their hands? Go on, talk to me. You said Solomon used to take his pleasure with 4 spirits of the night who lived on Mount Nazca. These 4 female genies had girl babies by him. You know so many things. They even say Solomon was a pervert as well. Amazing. Touch my slim belly and I'll understand you even better. Oh, that's nice. Lower.
Oh, that's really lovely. You want me to do it for you? Maybe your stomach's not as nice as mine. That doesn't matter. Oh, what's this? Okay. Oh, how funny. Throbbing and doesn't bite. Oh, and the smell. Oh, my lonely little kangaroo. It's good you're being dumb. I'll shut you in a cage like a palm tree alarm clock and carry you close to my heart. Would you like that? What a fool I am. You're too old to be put in a cage. And then there's your muzzle. I'm wearing a muzzle, so I won't have to speak, and to keep my senses alert for the day when they'll make me a real live king. Yes, yes, they'll make you king of the moon. In the beginning, man left paradise. He was driven out and came down to earth. Today, he's leaving earth for the moon, for the universe. A new era is dawning, and we'll be happy, you and I. They'll call you king of the moon and crown you with a steel crown. It'll weigh a ton, but you'll carry it as if it was a feather. Let me clean your teeth. You used to be so talkative before the war. The stories you used to tell. It's a change for the better, I must say. I remember the day you left the village on that wagon to be a strolling player. That's what I've been doing all these years. Waiting for you. And why didn't I visit you in the 20 years you've been in prison? It slips my memory. Don't keep on about the past. Let's think about the future. We'll travel the world till we find a road leading skyward to happiness. We'll travel in a chariot of rain, and when we get there, we'll crown each other. Mine? Oh, no. Supposing people saw. The place is full of people. I don't want to. Think what they'll say. All right, if you insist. You can go so far and no further. Don't be angry, I'll catch cold. All right, but only because I don't want you to think that I don't love you.
In the prisons, people used to die in droves. The nuns who cooked for them were partly responsible. When the prisoners asked for an extra ration for their sick comrades, they were told,
"Sick people don't need extra because they're going to die anyway. We'd rather give improved rations to the healthy, the guard, and the prisoners who collaborate to prevent them from falling ill."
In this prison, we do things by the book. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. You all know the penalties. No one has the excuse of ignorance. What is this? Open the door! Open the latrine door! I can't believe my eyes! 2 prisoners! And you get bread and water. Let's put them in solitaire.
Yes, sir, but, let me finish here first.
There is one particularly serious offense which demands the maximum penalty. You all know what that is. Assaulting a prison officer. Right now it is 20 degrees in here. Tonight it'll go down to 10, 15 degrees. Those of you who had the effrontery to talk back to the guard in charge of your block will be hung in the middle of the courtyard and left there overnight. You'll be stiff as icicles. You won't last an hour. May their death serve as an example to the rest of you. Take them away. Oh, I almost forgot. Tomorrow morning, you'll be served breakfast. Hot coffee, biscuits, milk, just like the guards.
I will not die. I will not die. I will not die!
Still alive? This prisoner's got balls. I've never seen anything like it.
Promise.
You still have the strength to talk?
Promise.
Coffee here? Biscuits?
No. That's not what you promised.
What do you mean?
Promise. Two breakfasts.
Two, huh?
Yes. Two. One for me. And one for the dead man. I'll take them both. As you wish. Oh Lord, permit me to eat of thy body and drink of thy blood. Is putting people in prison more civilized?
Not much to choose between them, they're both the same.
It's the penal code that always amazes me.
Why?
How do you suppose they worked it out? Think of it. A group of lawyers compiling the code and saying, let's see, insult to the fatherland. How much is that worth? And one says he thinks it's worth 10 years in prison. And another says 8 or 6 would be fair.
Between a couple of drinks, they decide the total pay.
The country's anesthetized. One thing tyranny does is force talent to degrade itself. People have grown used to oppression. As time goes by, a lot of people, rather than spend the rest of their lives behind bars, compromise. Then collaborate, and end by losing all self-respect.
So what's the answer?
We're put in prison. Our ideas are banned. Our people are divided. Vengeance stalking the land. It's got to stop.
But how?
The man on the moon.
Man on the moon, yourself! You're a lunatic!
Do you remember what he said when he first set foot on the moon?
One small step for man, a giant leap for mankind.
It was a peaceful conquest. The first in history. The first victory in which other men weren't the losers.
But we're still in prison, right?
This success will force people to come together and forget the witch hunts and intolerance that put us away.
Tell that to the tyrants. Tell that to the dictators.
Oh, it's over. Or nearly over. The time when they put handcuffs on the flowers.
Shut up about the flowers!
No. No! for a little sentiment. Once upon a time, there was a demonstration. Among the crowd was a little man with a slight limp who wanted to protest along with the others. When the armies of the night, the police that is, attacked, this little man was left by himself. He couldn't run because of his bad leg. And this frail little man said, "The hour has come when they put handcuffs on the flowers." He wasn't trying to be a poet. He just wanted to innocently express what he felt. A few weeks later, he was shot in front of a fascist firing squad. And because when he was alive, he had the reputation of being a homosexual, as a little joke, the commanding officer finished him off with a bullet up the ass. And this frail little man who foretold the tyranny we live under today, foretold freedom and justice for tomorrow.
Who was it? The man with the poet.
Federico Garcia Lorca.
Don't cry. Bear it like a man.
Bring me my children. Let me say goodbye to them. Let me see my children.
You'll never see the children again. They'll never kiss you again.
You can't
You'll never see the children again.
Darling.
Why not? Now you're out of the way. You can't boss me around the way you did before. I'd rather save it for the children. You may begin.
No!
I'll explain to them who you were. How you risked your future and theirs for the sake of your criminal idea. Now you'll find out what it's like. How I suffered all those years I lived with you. Suffered with dignity. Don't you want to play horsey with me anymore? Your back's all bloody. I'll stain my dress. Go on! Giddy up! We'll be very happy together, the children and me. They'll forget they ever had a father who didn't deserve them. They'll forget in no time at all. Giddy up! We're on our way to Bethlehem to see the Christ child and bring him gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Your children. Your wife? Forget her. Don't upset yourself like that. You see, when I dreamed fantastic things, strange adventures. But you return time and again to that business with your wife and kids. Your children, when they grow up, then you'll see. You'll be their idol. And the more hatefully she treated you, she and her friends and her family, the more devoted they'll be to you. Look, you're a painter. Your children will be artists. They'll immortalize your name.
Think of the education they'll be getting for years and years.
Brainwashing, I know. But they'll recover. And their revolt will be even more complete.
Little things. Alone, abandoned, condemned to live in a hostile world. She'll make apprentice executioners of them.
She'll try, but she won't succeed. You can't hide sunlight under a bushel basket. The day will come when they'll see the light, and they'll get such a shock from it that they'll become light and life themselves.
Quiet in the cell block. Prisoner Tosan, your lawyer to see you.
I'm Captain Fonteca. I've been entrusted with your defense. I should make it clear right away that I've been assigned this case by the judge.
To tell the truth, I didn't think I'd see you before the day of the trial.
Oh yes, it's not normal procedure in court-martial trials to interview the accused. It's enough to read the indictment. But your case caused such a stir among enemies of the fatherland that I was curious to meet you.
I want to speak at my trial. I want to tell them...
The accused may not speak. I shall speak for you.
Tell them how they tortured me. Please.
Do you really think I'd go in for that? Running this country down with some absurd story of being tortured?
It's not absurd. They threw me out of a window. I nearly died. If you look, you can still see the gashes on my forehead.
Quiet! I'm aware of what happened. While being interrogated, you jumped from the window in order to give the police a bad reputation.
An officer hit me over the head with a typewriter. I passed out. They thought I was dead and they threw me out of the window. I still had my handcuffs on. I broke both my forearms and the base of my skull.
Slanders against the fatherland.
It's the absolute truth.
You know, it's no good you're going on like this. I saw the judge yesterday. I'm warning you. He said I'll get that one myself, if necessary. I'll get him with this pistol. It served flag and fatherland in the Civil War.
Why bother with the trial?
Justice must be seen to be done.
What spectators will be there? What journalists?
What do you think this is, a theater? There'll be no spectators. The doors will be guarded. We're not going to make a spectacle of you. Place, the hour, the day of the trial will not be known until a few hours beforehand.
What can I say? They must be very unhappy, these people who have rigged this farce, to prevent me from talking before they murder me.
No one is going to murder you. You will be condemned and executed.
So you already know the verdict.
What did you expect?
And what is my defense to be, in your opinion?
I shall admit the facts.
What fact?
Your crimes.
What crime?
The crimes you committed during the Civil War.
25 years ago? I was 17. Anyway, what crimes do you mean?
You know very well.
I haven't read the indictment.
The accused may not read it. It's the law.
My only crime was to set up an organization, which would be perfectly legal anywhere else, whose aim it was to see this country freely and justly governed.
If you so much as open your mouth during the trial, I'll have you taken from the courtroom.
And the director of prosecutions will be Manuel Fernandez Martinez.
As usual.
You know he hasn't even got the necessary diploma stipulated in the Code of Justice.
He is a patriot!
He is a fraud!
How dare you!
It's common knowledge. He forged his certificates so everyone would think that 20 years ago he passed the bar.
He is a man who thinks only of the good of his country and of God.
He is a man who sent thousands of his fellows to face a firing
He's purged this country of traitors!
So, that's what my trial is to be.
I can see. I can no longer count on your cooperation.
Certainly not. I won't be an accessory to my own murder.
I may have been assigned this case by the judge, but I refuse to represent you. I'm going to call on Captain Redondo to take my place. Put this man on bread and water. He's to be kept in the strictest solitary confinement.
Solitaire! I'm afraid he might start something. It's solitaire! You think they'll give him the death sentence? Galileo did right to defy the Inquisition. His theory was found to be reality. That was the first step toward the moon.
Are you one of those who think they're going to open up the prisons?
Oh, we'll come out, and there'll be thousands of women waiting for us.
With flowers, right?
You can see it now. I'm already dreaming about it.
You and your wet dreams!
My love dreams.
Are you the man who just came out of prison?
Yes? Why?
I'm not madly in love with you. Let me rub your jacket while I emerge from my ship.
Please! Restrain yourself. As you can see, all women want the same as you.
Please, look at me a moment and I shall be happy the rest of my life. Tell me about those long, bitter years in prison, and I shall carry your words with me into all eternity. Spit on my panties and I'll be happy.
A little decency. I belong to all of you.
What a man. What a phoenix. How sad he is, like mist rising.
Oh, well he speaks. What underwater bells sound in his voice. Prison is a university for the spirit. Why doesn't he look at us?
Can I put a finger up your ass?
Quiet! You're distracting me.
Oh, shh. He's suffered a great deal over the years. Did you invent any theories while you were in prison?
Nothing worth mentioning. Trifles merely. The theory of relativity.
What a man!
Oh, it's not important.
Did you learn to sing?
Yes.
Sing something for us.
Oh, if you insist. Fly me to the moon, let me play amongst the stars.
Did you go in for sports?
Nothing much, really. I'm going to break the world record for the pole vault and the 100-yard dash. And I play chess blindfolded.
Oh, man! Could I clean your nostrils with my fingertips?
Please! I'm meditating.
Look, he's meditating just like Rodin's thinker. He's so talented. You'll distract him.
Nalia!
Oh, Miel.
You haven't changed. You're still the same. Only more beautiful.
You're not the only one. I, too, have spent all these years locked up in a closet waiting for you to come out of prison.
For love?
Look, spiders have spun their webs between my legs and under my arms. It was all for you.
You knew I'd come back.
Yes, I knew. I knew as soon as the age of Pisces was past and we were into the age of Aquarius that you would come back to me, free and serene.
Do you love me?
I close my eyes and I see you as a radiant giant.
I knew that if you didn't come visit me over the last 20 years, it was only because you were saving yourself for me.
Look, for every year that passed, I made a mark on the palm of my hand with a hot iron.
Take off your clothes.
Take off your clothes.
Come closer.
Wrap your whole body around me.
Clearly. When I'm happy, it gets very light. And I look down and see how beautiful you are beneath me. It's so light it hardly exists. The bubble goes from my heart to my head, from my head to my heart, and vibrates in my cock. This is my body, which is given for you. Take, eat, forever and ever. So be it.
Forever and ever. So be it.
Sentence Tosan to death.
Sentence Tosan to death! Sentence to death? Christ. Hey, Pronos. Maybe you can't talk, but you can't mourn with us. Don't kill him! Don't kill him! You can talk.
After 20 years of silence!
You can talk! You found your voice again!
Every morning for years after the war, the reactionary government executed large numbers of prisoners against the cemetery wall. The authorities discovered that these men uttered subversive remarks like, "Long live freedom," as they fell under the hail of bullets. To put a stop to this, it was decided that those under sentence of death should be fitted with muzzles as they left the prison. These muzzles had a rubber ball attached, which held the mouth open during the execution, but which prevented the men from shouting.
Convict Kronos. Report to the grill for execution.
Convict Kronos.
I haven't done anything. There's been a mistake. I haven't done anything.
Hold still! We're going to put this muzzle on you so you don't shout things when you get in front of the firing squad. Be quiet! The muzzle is still soaked with spit from the man who was shot yesterday. There. Now we're going to stand you up against the wall. But first, we're going to take you on a little truck ride. You Reds can't say we don't treat you right on the day of your execution.
Attention, there has been a mistake. The prisoner Kronos is not under sentence of death. It is the prisoner Tronos, with a T, as in Teresa.
That was close. 5 more minutes and you've had it. Well, I guess you were right. You didn't do anything. Wait. Let me take this muzzle off of you. Well, there you go. Now you can talk. You wanted to talk so bad! Now talk! If you don't say something, I'm gonna beat your ass! I'll be damned. Never seen anything like it. He's gone dumb with fright.
Yes, I know you're all doing your best. Thank you, but please make an effort. At 5 o'clock, my husband will be executed. Oh, God. How could something like this happen to me? Here I am, surrounded by my friends. They're doing everything they can, going from one phone to another. And still, I feel all alone. If only I could be with him.
I've got the president's confessor on the line for you. Hello? One moment, please.
Father Mendoza.
Tell me, my daughter, how can I help you?
At 5 o'clock. That's less than an hour. My husband will be executed. I beg you, intercede with the president on his behalf. You are the president's confessor.
All of us here, my daughter, have your husband very much in our thoughts. We all pray for him.
But if you put in an appeal, they won't kill him.
God, in his infinite mercy, will pardon even those whose sins are the most heinous.
My husband's only sin was to demand that a representative government be set up. Excuse me. I have no time to lose. I beg you, in the name of all you hold dear, to appeal for mercy.
I will remember you in my prayers. God bless you, my daughter.
Tosan, it's so long since we've had any time together. I'm so happy to see you. Bury my legs in the sand.
What did you?
I've got a terrible feeling. You're going away again, aren't you?
Yes. We've work to do, my comrades and I. We must put an end to tyranny once and for all.
What about me and the children?
You're always in my thoughts.
You know, Tosan, when you're away, I set a place for you at the table. Every morning I wait for you to come back, and at night I never sleep on the left side of the bed. That's your place.
You are my hero, my stream, my childhood, my blue clouds, my light. I love you for it.
When you come back, I'll scrub the ground in front of our house to welcome you. And while you're gone, the walls will be painted with sadness, and I'll lock up my heart in my lonely woman's bones.
Good news, madam. We've just heard that the Pope and foreign heads of state are continually in touch with the President on your husband's behalf.
Thank God. If only they can save him.
Your party is on the line.
Is that General Tarandere?
Dear lady.
Sir, I am the wife.
Madam, as a Christian, you have all of my sympathies.
What I'm asking is for you to intercede with the President on behalf of my husband. I beg you in the name of our common humanity.
Rest assured, madam, that as far as your husband is concerned, in my character as a man of honor, prepared to defend our country and all it stands for to the last drop of my blood, I shall conduct myself according to the dictates of my conscience.
Clemency!
Don't let me keep you. Duty calls. My respects, madam.
My Tosan is such a good man. How can they hate him enough to kill him? Oh, Tosan, why should I have to force myself to be polite to them? They're your executioners! I'd like to tell them what I really think. But your life comes first. You are my life. When you're here, I feel so safe, just like a little girl under a giant mushroom. Do you suppose they've made dawns just to wrap around us and shower us with kisses? Oh, Tosan, don't go. Not yet.
Don't think about my journey. I've got to fight.
I know, but couldn't you stay just one more day?
In the big cities, there are 2 taverns. One for thieves, that's the stock market. And one for murderers, that's the courthouse. We must open the prisons and disband the army. The emancipation of man must be total, and revolution is the only answer.
Please don't leave me!
I have to go. I have to fight.
Take me with you!
Alone.
You know what you must do. You are the root and the mountain, and we follow you blindly.
I love you more than anything in the world.
Madam, I'd like to confirm the report which has reached us from the best informed sources. The Pope and foreign heads of state interceded for your husband at 4:15 this morning.
Thank God!
The president of the bank is on the line for you.
Thank you. Sir, I am
Please, there's no need to call me sir. That is what they called company commanders in the old days. Nowadays, things are much less formal. We're much more in touch with our people's needs. You can call me by my first name. Call me Jack.
I know you're a close friend of the President's and one of the principal financial backers of his campaigns.
We are blessed with a leader who holds the reins of government firmly in his hands. A reliable guy. We are merely his underlings, that is to say, we submit of our own free will.
But the trial only lasted 3 hours.
Would you prefer a trial that dragged on for weeks and weeks, as is the custom in some decadent countries? Oh no. Your husband was fortunate enough to be dealt with speedily. Why force him to bear the shame in public any longer than absolutely necessary?
There were no witnesses.
It was a military trial. What good would witnesses have done? Do you suppose they would have influenced the verdict in any way?
Could you speak to the President?
You should have confidence in him. He will do nothing to compromise the principles sacred to the fatherland.
Would you intercede for my husband?
Whatever happens, let no reproaches be leveled against our invincible leader. Believe me, madam, I understand your grief. And you will find in me a man who, out of the goodness of my heart, will do everything in my power to see that we heal those scars your husband's behavior must have caused. It would be a pity to keep you from your task any longer. God bless you, madam. Good night.
It's 5 to 4. Can I speak to the president, please?
This is the president speaking.
Your Excellency.
What are you waiting for? Go ahead.
About today's execution, I've heard that the Pope, the President of the United States, and other heads of state are planning to telephone you to intercede for the condemned man.
Yes, I'd heard about that.
Had you thought of putting the execution off to give the foreign powers a chance to calm down?
I've given it a great deal of thought, and no, I will not postpone the execution.
What are your orders then?
He is not to be executed at 5 o'clock this morning. He is to be executed immediately on the stroke of 4.
The widow will claim the body.
It must disappear without trace. There must be nothing left.
Is death by strangulation. The condemned man is seated in a chair, his neck in a collar. The collar is attached to a vice which goes through the back of the chair. A few turns on the vice forces it into the condemned man's neck and kills him.
Though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your tears and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although our dear may be ever so near.
Oh my God. Well, they would laugh, you know. Ray was on this side.
Right, and you looked at the girl over here.
Oh yeah, and she was like,
Yeah, and that's the other one next to him was like.
Excellent, Julie. That was good play. I know.
I wanted to stand up and shout bravo.
You should have. They would have loved that.
You know what? Yeah, but I didn't know. Everybody's so quiet.
Yeah, no, it's a small crowd tonight, that's why. Yeah. Just a little bit more footage.
Fate and Civil War. I don't know if he lived through
I want a beer though. They have.
It's great. It's Halloween, it's raining out, it's like going to the haunted house.
They have problems with certain productions that they have here?
Yeah,